Have you ever felt like your life was ordinary? Like nothing special could come from your circumstances? The story of Esther reminds us that God can take an ordinary woman and place her in an extraordinary position for a divine purpose. This is the incredible story of Queen Esther, the woman who risked everything to save her people. The orphan girl. Long ago, during the Persian Empire, there lived a young Jewish girl named Esther. Esther was not born into royalty, she was an orphan. After losing both parents, she was raised by her cousin Mordecai. Life was not easy, but Esther grew into a young woman known for her beauty, wisdom, and character. Little did she know that God was preparing her for something far bigger than she could imagine, the palace. One day, the king of Persia, King Xerxes, searched for a new queen. Young women from across the empire were brought to the palace. Among them was Esther. She entered the palace as an unknown orphan. But something about Esther stood out. The king favored her above all the others. Soon, Esther was crowned queen of the most powerful empire in the world. Yet she kept one important secret. She did not reveal that she was Jewish. The dangerous plot. Meanwhile, a powerful official named Haman rose to prominence. Haman demanded that everyone bow before him. Everyone obeyed, except Mordecai. Mordecai refused because he worshipped only God. Haman became furious. His anger grew so intense that he developed a terrible plan. He convinced the king to issue a decree ordering the destruction of all Jewish people throughout the empire. Men, women, children. No one would be spared. The future of Esther's people hung in the balance. Mordecai's message. When Mordecai learned about the decree, he mourned publicly. Soon word reached Queen Esther. She sent a message asking what was wrong. Mordecai replied with urgent instructions. He told Esther to go before the king and plead for her people. But there was a problem. No one could approach the king without being invited. Anyone who entered the throne room uninvited faced death, even the queen. Esther was terrified. She had not been called to see the king in many days. Approaching him could cost her life. The decision. Then Mordecai sent one final message. Words that would echo throughout history. He said, "Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Esther understood. Maybe God had not made her queen by accident. Maybe every step of her journey had been preparing her for this moment. So Esther made a courageous decision. She told Mordecai, "Gather all the Jews and fast for me." Then she added, "If I perish, I perish." Those words revealed extraordinary faith. Esther chose courage over fear, purpose over comfort, faith over safety. Before the king. After 3 days of fasting and prayer, Esther dressed in her royal robes. She walked toward the throne room. Every step carried enormous risk. The guards watched. The room grew silent. The king looked up. Would he reject her? Would he order her execution? For a moment, everything hung in the balance. Then the king extended his golden scepter. Esther's life was spared. The king welcomed her and asked what she desired. Do. The revelation. Esther invited the king and Haman to a banquet. Then another banquet. Finally, at the perfect moment, she revealed the truth. She told the king about the plot against her people. She revealed that she herself was Jewish. And she exposed Haman's evil plan. The king was shocked. The very woman he loved was among those marked for destruction. Justice came swiftly. Haman's scheme failed. The Jewish people were saved. And what seemed like certain disaster became a story of deliverance. Lessons from Esther. The story of Esther teaches us several powerful lessons. First, God often works behind the scenes. Although God's name is never mentioned in the book of Esther, His guidance is visible throughout the entire story. Second, courage is not the absence of fear. Esther was afraid, but she acted anyway. Third, your current position may be connected to God's purpose. The places you find yourself today may be preparation for something greater tomorrow. And finally, one person's faith can impact countless lives. Esther's bravery changed the destiny of an entire nation. Conclusion: Esther began as an orphan girl. She became a queen. But more importantly, she became a woman of courage, faith, and purpose. Her story continues to inspire millions of people around the world. And perhaps her greatest message is this: you may be facing a challenge right now. You may feel unqualified, uncertain, or afraid, but God often places ordinary people in extraordinary situations for a reason. Just like Esther, you may have been placed exactly where you are for such a time as this. Outro. If you enjoyed this Bible story, subscribe for more inspiring biblical stories, faith-building messages, and powerful lessons from Scripture. And remember, God is still writing your story.